I brought this motion to this committee because of an experience that my office has gone through over the last 2 weeks. I believe it relates directly to projected growth and certainly the anticipation that wards like College Ward should be welcoming growth around LRT stations and in other areas that have not yet seen the likes of it before. I learned through a resident that an elementary school site was being put up for sale on open market. And so for a mature neighborhood slated for big growth, this was a really devastating way to find out about this. The closing of a school in any neighborhood is a very impactful, deeply impactful occurrence. Neighbors are both saddened by the loss of a school that they might have gone to or their family members might have gone to, but they also become quickly curious for what's going to come to the school site, which is often significant in size. And I have several closed schools in College Wards, and my residents have been anxious to know what the plans are. Over a year ago, I brought community members together with city staff to discuss a potential skills training center and childcare project on one of these sites. And at that time, as far as my discussions went with staff, the site was still in play. I later learned that the disposal policies had changed in 2023, and a school board may be allowed to go straight to private market. There had been no formal response or notification by staff in 2023 to committee or council of this change. And no longer will we be able to offer the same reassurance to our communities that municipalities have a first right of refusal on school sites. And so I've expressed my interest in this site for community purposes for a number of years. And I've received messages as a mother, of children in the OCDSB school board saying that they're disposing of sites, bringing that information to city staff, trying to reconcile between my personal life and my professional interests. And then a big sign goes up on Draper. So I've been feeling like a canary in a coal mine, but no one has been listening to me. And I appreciate that the sale of school properties is under the jurisdiction of the province. I understand they have their own reasons and market pressures and, public interest at heart. And I do understand also that city staff have to assess whether or not the purchase of a property is the right thing to do and whether or not we have a program with which to purchase it. But this process can't be ad hoc or invisible or implied. And as a council and as a corporation, we've been talking a lot about the need to be more agile. And here is an example of, I believe, where we needed better agility and responsiveness. In this case, we've had no proactive approach communicated to residents about how the city will respond to the province's and school boards' changing disposal policy. And we were unable to update our information in a timely manner and take advantage of an opportunity when it presented itself. And for me, this is unacceptable. School closures are a lightning rod for the community, and we need to know that the city is constantly refreshing its land use needs, especially in older established neighborhoods for which there is no new land for things like recreational facilities, sports fields, significant dense housing, affordable housing, other priorities that are important for neighbors. These sites are precious. We need to be fully transparent on how and when the city will fight for community interests for these parcels. And so when the city finally did tell me that they were already not interested in the Draper property, it turned out that the decision they were referencing was made 8 years ago, pre-COVID, under a different city councillor and a totally different reality. And this information was not made available at the time. So this has offered me really no comfort in this process. There's been no reflection. The Planning Act has changed. Our zoning bylaw has been updated, and our growth projections emphasize today that we can't just plan for today. We have to plan long term. And over the next several decades, we will have more seniors and more school-aged children and youth. So selling ourselves short now on these parcels is frightening to me. Our own official plan recognizes that schools beyond their educational purpose also serve to provide community infrastructure and resources for a neighborhood and important opportunities to support climate resiliency and contribute to healthy and inclusive communities. I understand the city cannot control the province's actions. I think we all know this around the table, but we can control our own land use planning, our own forecasts, and in the case of school sites, the city needs to tighten up and say that we're doing everything we can to put the city's interests first as nimbly as we are able. Thank you very much.